guys, what's up? Welcome to today's video. Welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, I'm Kira. That's Kai. Jackson's right here. So if you hear baby noises, that's what it is. But anyways, my face is finally starting to heal up after the 2 looks 1 palette series I did, which is great. But Jackson doing funny stuff. So I wanted to go ahead and film my May top 10 palettes, which is going to be the 10 palettes that I would keep if I could only keep 10 palettes. And these are also the palettes that on off days when you don't see me filming, I'm reaching for to create looks. So let's get into it. The top palette for me for the month of May is the Dominique Cosmetics Unconditional palette. So this is the palette itself. It is a 6-pan, but these are just like the perfect colors. For me personally, I love everything about this palette. I love the fact that it is a stunner kind of palette, even though it only has the 6 shades and people might not find that very versatile. I love it. I mean, I don't always use the glitter in here, but when I do, it's gorgeous. I am going to swatch these palettes today for you guys. And this palette retails for, I believe, $28, $29, somewhere in that area. So those are the first 3 shades. I mean, like, that's a look right there. Do you have to take my light? Hello? My life is crazy. I'm not feeling like I want to have glitter everywhere, so I tapped into that glitter. You'll still be able to see how gorgeous it is. I mean, that's a small amount of that glitter. I literally went doop, doop, doop like that into that pan. Like, it's so stunning. I'm gonna have glitter everywhere. All over my hands. Great. But anyways, this is the Dominique Unconditional palette. This palette, if somebody was holding a gun to my head and said that I had to pick 10 palettes out of my collection to have forever and they were going to take everything else, this would be the top palette for me. I would have to have this, or if I lost it, I would have to repurchase it. Okay, so my number 2 palette for the month of May has definitely been the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership 1 Subliminal. I think that this packaging is just like stunning, like definitely a part of the luxury experience. So this was originally $128 or $125. Now they're $128. I don't know why she raised it $3 because she didn't do anything different, but they're now $3 more expensive. But this is just a cool tone lover's dream. It is definitely a perfect palette for me because I've really been into those cool tones lately. And I would not want to have to pay $128 for this palette. So, I'm glad I have it in my collection now. But I definitely think that there would be something missing in my collection if I didn't have this palette. But it's definitely not a staple for everybody. I mean, like, I don't think that it's something that every person needs. I mean, it is a super expensive palette. I mean, but not everybody is going to be reaching for cool tones the way I do. I mean, on my off days, I wear looks like this. They are very, very cool tone. This was not an off day look. This is, I knew I was going to film today. Look. A couple of these shimmers I don't actually use. Like, this shimmer I don't use. This shimmer I don't use. I want to use them more often. But I literally don't have a blue like that in my collection. And I was watching a Morgan Turner video, and she was mentioning this palette. And she said something about layering it over that black. And I'm thinking about doing a look with that. The Blitz Astral shade, like those 2 shades, and then these 2 shades from Pat McGrath are, like, the formulation. She always has 4 unique shades in her motherships, except for, I think, Mothership 4, which was Decadent. So these final 4 shades are just so unique, and it's such a unique formula. And I've talked about how Pat McGrath is a luxury brand that you're going to pay more and get less quantity from, but you're going to get more unique formulas. So I love this palette, and it feels like a luxury palette. Okay, my number 3 palette is probably not going to come as a surprise to anybody if you watch any of my eyeshadow videos, and it's definitely the Natasha Denona Glam Face Light palette. I have not played with the tan or dark one. I don't know what it's called, because I haven't hauled it yet. I'm hauling it at the end of the month. In case you're curious, I'm filming this on the 21st of May, so I know how I've been feeling about these palettes and how much I've been using them. I love this on a day where I'm not filming, because if I reach into this palette, I have my blush, my highlighter, and I have my eyeshadow shades. This retails for $59. Take those potatoes back to the potato thing. This blush is a cream blush, and this highlighter is a new formula for Natasha Denona, and I think that they are both very, very stunning. And I just love the fact that I think that this is a good value because her blush and highlighter duos, that is a cream blush and a highlighter, are like $40 and they're about the same size. And you're also getting a $25 mini pretty much with this, so you're really getting a good deal. And this is definitely the best deal you're gonna get if you want to try out Natasha Denona's products and you want to try out more than just her eyeshadows. These eyeshadow sizes are the midi size eyeshadows, so that's how I know that they are the mini palettes, and the mini palettes do retail for $25, like I said. This is just all around a perfect everyday palette because you can use all 4 of these shades. You don't, or all 5 of these shades. You don't have to use that. You can use one shimmer. You can use the highlighter. I mean, the shimmers are much more blingy than that highlighter. At least they're popping. It's popping like that. I don't know why. But yeah, this is just a really good palette if you want to try out Natasha's formulas for different products and not just her eyeshadows. It's a really good deal. You also have a really nice eyeshadow palette that is just going to be a staple for everyday, kind of like more on the pinky toned, but still super duper gorgeous. Okay, my 4th palette is actually a palette I was very surprised, but I found myself reaching for this palette a lot on my off days when I wasn't filming. And that is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Weirdo palette. So I was interested in it because it was the first mini he was really releasing by itself, and it's $28. So, and he had a whole collection around this, and he's never done that with just a mini. So I was really intrigued by this, and it's 8 mattes, and this is the only shimmer. But I think that he did a really good job curating this, and I'm going to show you, because you can have an all matte grungy look right here, but it's kind of like, it'll be more light of a matte and smoky, or you can have a really intense black smoky eye, which you can honestly combine these 6 shades together and make a gorgeous look, honestly. I mean, I just think that the way he curated this was actually quite smart in the theme he did. And then you have this row that kind of stands out as a little bit weird, but it's the more pinky row, and I mean, you can do a lot with these. And like I said, I just find myself reaching for this a lot on off filming days, and 9 times out of 10, I'm reaching for a matte look when I dive into this. Number 5 is going to be the Anastasia Primrose palette. So this is also going to retail for $59, the same price as the Natasha Denona one, but you're actually getting a lot more product than Natasha Denona. And Anastasia honestly has a really good formulation, so whether you go this route with the more product or the Natasha Denona one, you're going to get a good, you're going to just get a good you're going to get good products. So this is the bronzer and blush, and I wanted to just go ahead and show it to you guys. I had to go rescue Kai, but Jackson's so cute, got a little teething ring. So this is actually going to give you very similar vibes to the Natasha Denona one, because it also is very more on the neutral-ish pink tone side, but it's still so pretty, and it's got purples in it too, so if you have the $59 to spend, I think that both palettes are gorgeous, but as for needing both, no, I don't think that anybody needs both. I have a YouTube channel, so that's why I justify having so much makeup, but I have way too much and I need to actually curate my collection down to a more adjustable size, which is what I've been doing I'm in the process of doing. But I mean, it's just make the best decision for you. If you want more bang for your buck, go with the Anastasia one. Both are gorgeous formulas. Number 6 is going to be probably no surprise if you watch any of my eyeshadow videos, because I always rave about this palette, and it's the Laura Lee Los Angeles Sleigh Bell palette. Mine is old and broke, but I have a connection to this, and I love it. I mean, honestly, it has amazing, colorful shimmers. That is a really good formula that I love reaching into this palette for these beautiful 3 shimmers that you are about to see. Stunningness. I mean, gorgeous. Okay, so number 7 is going to be the Glitz List palette from SheGlam. I did do another SheGlam order. They're an inexpensive makeup brand, but they're not the best. I mean, I love this packaging. I mean, I've talked a little bit about this palette, but I did find myself reaching for it a lot in off filming days because I'm trying to use this palette more. The shimmers are a very sheer shimmer formula, which you will see in the swatches. Talked about it before. I do have a 2 looks 1 palette video coming out with this palette, and it was a struggle to use this palette. Let me just be honest. So I'm finishing up the swatches of this. It's just not a very cohesive palette, I guess. But I am excited to try out more SheGlam products. So number 8 is the Colourpop Honey palette. I've reached for this a lot because I've been trying to really use it up. It's going to give you very, very yellow looks. And that's what I'm finding. I just don't do yellow looks very much. So I will tell you guys, I do have more Colourpop palettes in my collection now. So when I do my monthly palette rankings video at the end of the month for the rest of the year, I don't think that this one is going to be in my top 10. Just because I have other Colourpop palettes that I actually like the color story to a lot more, if I'm being completely honest. I just have to be honest with you guys on my channel. I mean, the glitter from Colourpop is just so stunning and gorgeous, but I prefer Dominique's formula over it, which, because I know I prefer Dominique's formula over this Colourpop glitter, I guess that's probably why I don't reach for it very, very much. But this is just it's very yellow, and I don't have yellows in my collection, so that's why I wanted to get this palette. But only when I got this palette do I realize how little I use yellows, and I really had to push myself to use this palette this month, which is why it's ranking in the number 8 spot. So number 9 is going to be the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Pillow Talk palette. This retails for $75. I've talked about it quite a bit. Charlotte Tilbury is a luxury brand. I don't like the packaging, but I think you're just paying for Charlotte's name being attached to these products. Yes, the formula is good on this. I just honestly, I was more excited getting this palette than I have ever been using it, which is why it's ranking in the number 9 spot for my 10 palette ranking. The 10 palette ranking the palettes I've used this month, I guess. I don't know. Yes, Charlotte has a good formula to this, but I guess when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, if I want to pay $75 for a product, I'm wanting something a little bit more than just a nice blendable formula, to be completely honest. And I'm not really reaching for these kinds of pinks, I guess. I'm reaching for more of the pinks that are in the Anastasia and the Natasha Denona palette that I showed you guys earlier. And I guess because I classify Charlotte Tilbury as the luxury brand with Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath. Mine was always Natasha Denona was my favorite, Charlotte Tilbury, and then Pat McGrath. That was how it went. But now that I've had these products and I've tried them, it's Natasha Denona is my top favorite luxury brand, Pat McGrath, and then Charlotte Tilbury. I just really don't like Charlotte. I don't like the brand of Charlotte Tilbury because I feel like it's not anything special and you're paying a lot of money for it. Okay, my number 10 palette is the e.l.f. Cookies and Dream palette. This is the palette that just keeps on surprising me, honestly. I mean, you guys, if you watch any of my eyeshadow palette videos, you know the story behind this palette and how I was not interested in it until I have a addiction to shopping for makeup, and I saw it in the stores, and I purchased it just because I was like, I can use it on my channel once or twice and then declutter it. This is actually a really good palette, and it's a really good formula. I just don't think it's a standalone palette. So, while I actually recommend this over the Charlotte Tilbury one, I just haven't used it as much as I've been using the Charlotte Tilbury, as I used the Charlotte Tilbury one, which is why it's ranking lower. But out of all my palettes, I did use this one quite a bit. I want to compare this to Subliminal from Pat McGrath. I think I'm going to do that video next, comparing these two, because they are so extremely similar, honestly. Subtle differences. Like, this looks like Skinster Nude, that looks like Blitz Blue, that looks like VR Violet, Blackest Black. She has 2 matte shades. I mean, yeah, I'm going to probably do that video next. Okay, so that was me ranking my 10 eyeshadow palettes that I've been using on the off time for the month of May. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all that social media great stuff. It really helps this channel out, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys!